Hi viewer, welcome to today's episode of Women's View. I'm your host, my name is Anne Moremi. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember that we are live on Facebook, the handle is GBS Kenya, and we also have a YouTube channel, the handle is GBS TV Kenya. Please subscribe so that you can be able to follow us online. And in the event that you want to send us a message, the SMS line to use is 21144. Welcome and once again and enjoy the show. With me in studio, I have a very interesting lady, and I just want to give her this opportunity to introduce herself. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. My name is Joan Gadongo, an educationist, currently serving at Kenya Utalii College with interest in early childhood education, and I'm glad to be in studio today. Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Did you, was it on purpose that you forgot to mention your title? Because you're Dr. Joan Gadongo.
No.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay,
anyway,
thank you.
Viewer, today we're talking about how we can empower the society through competence-based education. The curriculum has changed from 844, which was more of a knowledge-based education, to 2633, which is competence-based. So that's what we're going to be focusing on, and we're going to be looking at how that change is going to empower the community, the society, that is you, my viewer. So welcome and enjoy the show. All right, Daktari, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where did you study, and what is your journey towards becoming an educationist?
All right, it's been a long journey. I grew up in Nyeri, in the countryside, and I went to the local primary school, Nyakago Primary School.
Nice. Shout out to them, eh? Is the Alp still there?
Oh, yes, they are. Okay. During which years, I attained my education. After class 8, I went on to Mary Hill Girls High School in Thika, where I majored in volleyball.
Oh, nice, sports.
And managed to go through to university, Kenyatta University, where I took education. Initially, I wanted to be a lawyer, but because of the nature of the system, I was forced to take education.
Was that because of the subjects you were doing, or
yes,
the cluster or something?
I was strongly an art student, but unfortunately the 4 sciences that I took did not allow me to get the university requirement for law.
For law, okay.
Yes. So ultimately I went and took education, English and literature as my basic units. Then moved on, taught for 3 months and went back for my master's. I decided to now move into business administration, and I took an MBA. After that, I started teaching at college.
So basically that's how come you're lecturing at Utalii?
Yes. I had a stint at Nairobi University, the Kenya School of Professional Studies, after which I joined Utalii College. Yes.
And are you currently studying?
I'm actually done with my doctorate. I'm only awaiting graduation. I've done my defense.
Fantastic. That is the most critical part.
Yes.
Okay.
But again, learning is continuous.
Exactly. There's no end to learning.
Yes.
Every day we learn something new.
Yes.
And if you have that kind of outlook on life, you're able to actually keep growing on a daily basis.
Yes.
So you've talked to us about your first degree, which was in education. Your second degree was an MBA, and you've also talked about a doctorate, which you're going to be graduating this year.
Yes.
What is the doctorate in?
The doctorate is in marketing of tourism destinations. Actually, I'm very passionate about marketing Destination Kenya.
Of course.
The endowments, a beautiful destination, the people, the warmth, the culture.
Yes.
And we have one great destination. We only need to get it right in strategy. Exactly.
And in exposing the different parts of it. Some parts are more exposed than others.
True.
And it is definitely something that we can talk about. I think we need to call you back on the show to talk about Kenya and the advantages it offers to tourism.
I will be glad, because we have an amazing country.
We do.
Amazing. Right now, our biggest product is Eliud Kipchoge.
I know.
And
kindly we're celebrating him right now.
Yes.
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 And I really wish him all the best. I'm looking forward to Sunday. I don't know where they've not announced the date it's going to be exactly, but I'm looking forward, and I'm really hoping that it's going to pull through and make a difference for humanity. And
make a difference for humanity.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
So back to our topic. We're talking about competence-based education. I'd like my viewer to understand what is the difference between, a lot of people basically talk about the new curriculum. Some of them don't even know what it's called, but it's the competence-based curriculum. They're more used to the 844 curriculum, which I think I want you to tell us what is the major difference between the two.
Okay. The competence-based curriculum is a curriculum struck out of, or rather chipped out of education, competence-based education, which is the mother.
Okay.
A competence-based education means that the learner is exposed to development of all their competencies, be it spiritual, be it moral, be it practical, and also knowledge, which of course is a key pillar of any learning.
Exactly.
However, we have focused too much on knowledge.
Yes.
They recall issues, they identify this, they determine this, instead of looking at a competence-based approach where the learner is allowed to use all their faculties.
Okay.
Where we lose quite a number of learners, you will find that learner A is very good in the practical.
Okay.
They would rather be doing.
Yes.
Learner B is highly musical. Learner C is a knowledge-based learner.
Okay.
But now the competence-based approach allows us to carry everybody on board. It also allows the teacher to also give their best as opposed to part of what they would deliver.
Okay.
And the learners end up learning more and impacting more.
Okay.
Yes.
I like the way you're defining it, that it's basically we are all carried together, because I think the knowledge-based or the 844 curriculum used to favor only the people who are competent when it comes to knowledge.
That is so. And
recall.
And recall. And together with that, we tended to focus too much on the learner who would achieve an A at the expense of discipline, achieve an A at the expense of their music, their drama. So we tended to lose a very, very big percentage of our learners.
Yes.
As a nation with this transition, the 100% transition, not everybody will fit in academia.
Okay, that's correct.
Yeah.
And you see right now, just the world is so big about innovation. And I think that when you only focus on the knowledge-based competency, you tend to really put down the creative side of things. Huh?
True. And again, I would like to remind you, Anne, that Kenya is a home of creativity.
It is.
Home of innovation.
Yes.
M-Pesa,
definitely.
Alongside many other innovations. So when we focus on this percent that only, the A students, we tend to neglect a very big side of whom we are as a nation.
That's correct.
We are very musical.
Yeah.
We are talented. You only need to look at rugby.
I know.
Athletics.
Yes. Sports. Athletics.
Yeah.
Yes.
And see all the wealth that we have as a people.
Yes.
Which we have neglected when we only think of ABCD.
That's very correct. In fact, when it comes to athletics, I think we have a huge opportunity in athletics. And I mean, I don't know, is that opportunity being tapped early enough?
No, not quite. Not quite, because by the time many of these kids start engaging in professional athletics, or possibly even meaningful athletics later on, it's after Form 4.
It's after Form 4. Actually, it's after they're done with their education.
Yes.
And you see, they waste a lot of time where they could really be able to work on their speed, work on their confidence, because when you are thriving in one area, even if the other one is maybe lower, it already lifts up your esteem, you know?
Sure.
Actually,
if you look at efforts like Ligi Ndogo,
yes.
that of course that are tailored alongside what's being done in the West, like the Arsenal Foundation, where they'll have an academy.
Yes.
Yeah. If you look at that, you realize that we are starting out too late.
Yeah.
By the time we identify, say, a footballer, it's after Form 4.
I know. I mean, honestly, they are already over 18. And when you look at the international players, some of them tend to be very young, which means that their talent was noticed and worked on when they were way younger, like even in primary school.
Yes.
So when it comes to competence-based education, for us, we have started at, of course, it's something, we want to basically overhaul the whole system. So right now, where have we reached in terms of implementing that education?
All right, in terms of curriculum, we are at grade 3.
Okay.
We just took the assessment in grade 3.
Yes.
However, a competence-based education should start right from home. What are you exposing your children to?
Okay.
What kind of chores do they participate in? What kind of tasks do they perform?
Okay.
Are they independent? Are they able to operate on their own?
Okay.
When I go with my 11-year-old to a mall, Do I have to work with them, or do I give them some me time?
Oh.
So it is not just what government is doing in terms of what's being done in school.
Yes.
It starts from the parent.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. That's a very interesting approach. No wonder you call yourself an educationist. And education actually starts from home. It's building, so basically it's making sure that your child is able to do things, life skills. Things
skills,
like
that your child can function.
Yeah, and you know, we're talking about basic things. And the ones that are coming to mind because I'm a parent are things like making your bed,
Yes.
washing your clothes,
Yes.
cleaning the house,
Yes.
cooking.
Yes.
What else?
Ironing your clothes.
Ironing. Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Finding your way around the compound, you know, like if it's a safe neighborhood, I'll send you to the shop.
Okay.
You'll budget.
Mm-hmm.
You'll know your change. You'll bring me your money back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You'll know how to take care of your pets.
Yes.
You'll manage your time with your friends.
Yes.
And so I release you and I start building your confidence
And
from
your
a very early
independence,
age.
yes.
Yes.
I like that you actually are taking me way back, because the things that you're talking about are things that I was taught in my home. And the question is, as a parent, am I passing on the same information to my children? You know, I think when I talk to parents, I find that the issue of, I don't know whether to call it over-parenting, you know, like doing everything for our children, the issue of security. We feel sometimes that it is not safe to, you know, I used to be sent to the shop from when I was very young, and I would be able to bring back change. I'd love it when I was told keep change or whatever. But I mean, honestly, when I ask my children sometimes, what can you buy with a 50 shillings? They're like perplexed. You know what I mean?
The only thing they'll think about is crisps.
Yes,
if they know the
sweets.
price.
Yes.
But again, and parenting was always meant to be about self-love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah,
And as a mother, you know that.
I do.
And we know that, but at times we don't practice it.
That's
we are
correct,
too
yeah.
afraid.
Mm.
We have the house help at home.
Yes.
She's meant to help,
Yes, not to do everything.
not to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
My 11-year-old, your 11-year-old, her 11-year-old will need to step up.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Become responsible.
Make your own breakfast.
Yes.
So that when I leave you at home, or a situation comes up and you're home alone for a few minutes, maybe an emergency, you're not totally like lost. You know, you don't even know where anything is kept, how the gas cooker is switched on.
And the day you get lost at an airport,
I know.
the day you get lost at the market,
Mm-hmm.
how do you find your way home?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What have you learned?
Yes.
Do you know whom to contact? Are you able to sit down and assess people?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Know who you can trust or what to look for.
Yes.
Which people maybe you can approach, because also the issue of insecurity is real.
Yes, it is.
But because of the insecurity, I think we are losing out on independence.
True.
I know.
And it was never ever meant to be about lack of independence.
No.
We were meant to enjoy
Yes.
life,
Yes.
you know, on earth as given to us
Mhm.
by God.
Yes.
So parenting is a key part of competence-based education.
Okay.
That's why government also, in the curriculum that we have, is very, very emphatic that the parent needs to be involved. The
Okay.
parent is a key pillar.
Mm-hmm.
Besides the teacher, the learner, the parent is a key pillar.
Okay.
That is why there's so much work being given to be done at home.
Yes. How is the response of parents on that?
It's been mixed.
It's been mixed.
Mixed. But again, I believe because of lack of education
Yes.
on the part of the parent.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to look at it as increased work.
Yes.
We
That's true.
neglect the value of what will come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
The bonding, the getting to know
Yeah,
what
the bonding
your
with your child.
child is learning,
Mm-hmm.
that involvement with the child and the teacher.
Yes.
So we have tended to focus too much on the work
Mm-hmm.
at the expense of what comes out of that work.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
true. And you know, bonding is critical, and sometimes people wonder how to bond. But you know what? One of the easiest way to bond is when you're working.
Sure.
Yeah, like when you're cooking, when I'm in the kitchen cooking and my sons come and we cook together. In the process, we bond.
You bond. You
Yeah.
get to pass your worldview to him.
Yeah,
He
we get
gets-
to talk. He'll
Yes.
open up to me. He'll tell me something that happened in school.
Yes.
I'll be able to catch maybe if there's bullying happening, if there is something in his character that there's a defect, I'll be able to catch it.
Yes.
Ah,
And you're able to work on it together.
exactly.
Yes.
And you know, now that you've now gotten my head rolling about the same thing, I'm even thinking, even eating together.
Yes.
You know, just for them to be able to know how to hold a fork and knife, how to eat, not to talk with food in your mouth. All those are things that must be taught at home.
All those are things that must be taught at home.
Yeah.
But for the parent to be able to instill this, the parent themselves must understand this.
Yes.
And some of these things are very simple. Yeah?
Yes.
Actually passed through the generations, but things that at times we tend to overlook.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And the modern parent, I think, is really overlooking them and thinking that they can be outsourced.
That they can be outsourced, and that's why you find that some of these programs, there'll be very many children being sent to these programs.
Exactly. There's been such a huge influx of them, and I'm wondering, what is your opinion on them?
I have mixed feelings.
Okay.
Because I particularly run a program with clear objectives.
Okay.
But the challenge we have, are they being run by educationists?
Oh, okay.
What is the objective of this program as you run it? Who is running it?
Yes.
Yeah? So nothing wrong with programs. But again, when kids are sent on holiday, it's also time to reflect and relax.
And not be home, because it's like they're in school and then during the holidays they're back to school for holiday programs.
Yeah.
And probably they get exhausted with even the same environment.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Okay.
So if the program is well thought through, like now we have the scouting programs where kids will go out and learn survival.
Camping, eat survival.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those ones are good.
Yeah. In the outdoors.
Yes. We have the church-based programs
Yes.
where children will go in for values.
Yes.
Those ones are good. But
I remember
again,
those, yes.
you have to critically evaluate as a parent what this program is bringing in.
Yeah.
What kind of company?
Exactly.
Who is taking it?
Yes.
What life skills are being learned?
And so it shouldn't just be. I find that there are also mixed reactions from parents when it comes to programs. A lot of them also look at the cost and they feel that usually it's a little bit on the higher side. And but you see, cost comes with value. You know, when you understand the value that you're going to receive, and then when you also understand your inability to probably to pass on these things to your child, it might be easier for you to pay for them.
That is true. A lot of times cost will come with value.
Yes.
But again, I believe there are also people giving back to society.
Okay.
Yes? You will find very good people who are basically giving back because I've done, I've worked.
Yes.
I've earned my keep, but I have some hours
Yes.
that I can spend and change children,
Yes.
possibly impact on them.
Okay.
So even for the parents who may not be in a position to pay, you only need to look
Yeah,
and to ask around.
Basically, just do a bit of more research, because you'll be able to find something that is within your budget, or something that is even maybe being offered as at minimum or no cost, but yet the values are the same. Positive values are being impacted.
True.
Okay.
Again, sorry, Anne, but again, one of the things that's going to happen with anybody who believes in imparting knowledge,
Yes.
is that they will also offer. If a parent approached you and they said, I have this child and I would like you to have them for 2 days
Yes.
to learn this particular aspect, you will have them with you
Yes.
because you're a parent.
Yeah.
So besides the money, at times it's just about looking and even asking, requesting. Yes.
Yeah. And also realizing that you also have something to give. A lot of times we look at ourselves and feel that we have nothing to give, but even in your work, you can, like you said, you can have some children coming with you to work for 1 or 2 days, and they're going to enjoy and learn, even just figure out where it is that our parents learn, how they get there. Are they using public means? Are they using the train? Are they using their car to drive? Can they figure out directions?
Yes.
All those things are things that are very empowering, and they also they cause a human being to be confident, such that even if you're left in a market and you get lost, at least you won't be totally confused. You'll have a little bit of an idea of how to manage.
True.
Okay, it's very good that you're actually helping us make that linkage, because a lot of times we see that as though what happens in the classroom is very unrelated from what happens at home. But I'm saying that there's quite a lot of merging.
There's a lot of merging, and in fact, you can't imagine. Like when you go to a class and you see a student, the way the learner behaves will tell you a lot about their background.
Okay.
And this could introduce biases.
Oh.
But again, any trained educationist, any trained teacher also knows how to handle this.
Okay.
If you realize that someone's behavior is quite disruptive, and you realize that this is coming from their background,
Yes.
you're prepared to handle this.
Yeah.
Once you give it time and your attention, you'll be able to work through the situation.
Okay.
So again,
are you able to give us an example? Because because you seem to be having a picture of what you're talking about.
Now, when you go into this class and you're conducting, say, a class session, and there is this young man who is laughing uncontrollably.
Okay.
Every little thing he's giggling. To you at first it appears like indiscipline.
Yes.
But then you realize this young man might just be happy. Happy beyond, but he has forgotten the environment.
Yes.
And when you get to talk with him, you realize he's actually relaxed and happy. But then now you have your work cut out.
Yes.
This boy might never have been taught as to how he should handle himself, or possibly he has been denied that at home.
Yes.
It's not been a happy environment. So for you as a teacher, for you as an educationist, yours now is to nurture this boy and mold him into a young man, a gentleman, who should carry himself in the right way.
Yes.
In the different circumstances.
Exactly.
So you have to take him through sessions, you have to engage with him, but he must feel appreciated. He must feel cared for.
Yes.
Yes.
And he must know that there's time for everything.
Yes.
You know, when you're in class, you need to be serious. It's okay to be happy, but you know, the laughing and the being jolly probably will happen during break or on your way to the next class.
Yeah.
Just being able to know that there's time for everything, and you need to conduct yourself in a different way in different settings. You know, that seems so obvious, but it's something that must be taught.
It's something that you have to teach, and the greatest thing for educationists, as you think about the competence-based education, is the fact that you're taking away learning from yourself to the learners.
Okay.
You're no longer the center of learning.
Yes.
It is your learners who must come up with more, who must look for more information, but at the same time, you must be there to guide.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
You're making the learner, you're basically sharing responsibility with the learner, with the heavier load of being on them, actually, to be able to, you know, to follow their curiosity and to be creative. And I'm as you speak, I'm really getting to know the difference, because when you're in a knowledge-based kind of education, all the information is with one person. And the work of that person is to disseminate it with hardly any input from the learner.
True.
But here you want the learner to participate. Okay, I'm getting it.
Very, very interesting things come to mind, you know, when you say that, and because one of the reasons why the East, particularly China, might be beating us,
Yes.
is because when you go into a Chinese environment, the children start making things from very early.
Yes.
Yeah?
Creating.
They're in the shops with their mothers. They are learning how to interact with people.
With customers.
With customers.
Yes.
International customers at times. They're learning how to manage money.
Yes.
They're learning negotiation skills.
Yes.
They're learning how to handle themselves. They're learning decision making and problem solving.
And that's what life is about.
And that was, yes. When you are the president, nobody will require you to remember how many parts a plant has.
I know.
But
describe in detail the process of photosynthesis.
Yes.
Oh my God!
Yes.
But you will need to take care of the environment and think of policies to make the environment, better.
True. So the knowledge will have given you that appreciation. But now, how do you get this policy to sail through Parliament?
Yes.
You know, as a law.
You must lobby.
Yeah. You must lobby, so you must negotiate. You must work with people.
Yes.
Yeah. You must have your timelines. You must know time management.
Yes.
etc.
And to be honest, you can have the best idea, but if you're not able to sell it well to the people who can buy it, I mean, your idea is basically going to die with you, to be honest. It might be the idea that we need to make a whole difference in the country and in the world, but if you're not able to communicate it, to package it, then there you go.
True.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And now the thing is, you've talked about the East. Which other countries is competence-based education practiced that we are sort of trying to learn from?
Germany is a good example. And just last year, they came in and they had a program where they were training our lecturers on a knowledge, a competence-based approach. And the lecturers were taken through some sessions, and then they went on a sightseeing tour in Germany. as to how it's being implemented, how they've implemented it there.
What level of education is it? Early childhood or?
This is college.
College level.
Yes, because remember, Anne, competence-based education is lifelong.
It's lifelong.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And it can be in every. I mean, it's lifelong. It's from birth to forever.
Yes, forever.
Okay.
Yes.
So at this point, they were basically focusing on the college level.
Yes.
So were you able to take part in that?
No, I wasn't. Because this was in the technical areas,
okay,
like food production.
Okay.
But they came back and shared,
yes.
And yes, there's a place for each one of us.
Yes.
Because whether you're teaching marketing, whether you're teaching communication, whatever you might be teaching, there's a place for it. Because there are things that these learners can do that allow them to develop these competencies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, for example, I'm thinking about your class in particular, where you're lecturer and you're teaching marketing and communications. What are some of the things you'd introduce on top of knowledge? Because knowledge we are all very familiar with. I mean, any FF4 child is okay with knowledge. It's about points and, discuss and detail and all that. But when it comes to competencies, what would be the additional thing?
I'm laughing because my students, I wish they would hear this.
Okay.
Because some of
I wish they are watching. I mean, honestly, they need to watch and repeat it it's tonight from 7 to 8
they will.
PM.
They'll get to watch it.
Okay.
Because some of the projects we undertake are quite taxing.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. Like I told you, my area is marketing of destinations.
Yes.
If we are going to have someone market destinations, they've got to see it practically.
They've got to know the place.
They've got to know the place.
Yeah? Okay.
And they've got to know how to deal with the digital arena.
Okay.
For the same, because that's where everybody's moving.
Okay.
So one of the tasks I'll give my students is imagine an attraction.
Okay.
Create it and feed me with the graphics.
Yes.
And then design a strategy as to how you'll market this destination.
Exactly.
Say to Europe.
Yes.
And then I can tell you that I get very interesting projects done. Very.
Yeah, I'm sure you get, because when you tell students that, the kind of responses that you're going to get are going to be so varied and so diverse.
And so rich.
And so rich, as opposed to you being the one who is giving them the information.
Yeah. I can tell you of a case in point. Last semester, we had an opportunity to watch the Magical Kenya clip.
Okay.
That's used by KTB. And I asked my students what they thought about the clip, and we shared in class.
Okay.
We now agreed to develop a clip based on what we had discussed and based on what had been done.
Okay.
And I can tell you that at the end of the session, what the clip I got was one that encompassed the best of Kenya.
Imagine,
Yeah? For them, of course, it was to a younger audience.
Of course, because they have to make it relevant to their age group.
Yes.
Yes.
But the ideas that came out were very rich.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And even for you as the person, the educationist, the teacher, the lecturer, you're also able to really appreciate and also grow.
You learn.
Yes.
And besides the learning coming from them, because you've got to be ahead, you're constantly researching.
Exactly. You have to be ahead of the game.
Yes.
Because you're the one who's guiding them.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, that's, the other day I was reading about how whenever you ask somebody, A is for, they all say apple.
Yeah. You wonder why it wouldn't be for ant.
Ant, ant, the animal ant, your ant, apple, there's so many things that start
because
with
now
A.
in
But you see,
competence-based.
we were all taught knowledge-based, A is for apple.
Yeah. Yet in competence-based, this person should be showing you 5 things.
Yes.
That I can relate with, or
Exactly.
2. Yeah.
And also ask you what other examples. So that in your mind it's for ant, it's for antelope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really enjoying having this discussion with you because it's getting broken down into manageable portions and very real. But guess what? Time is not on our side, so we do need to take a short break. Viewer, keep it here. We'll be right back after the break. Thank you.
The youth, we need to change the way we approach issues. The world out here is very harsh.
I was just waiting for things to happen in life, like finish school, then just go to career life.
Some people are depressed. You're not depressed because you have a problem. Some people are depressed because they're frustrated.
So we young people, in as much as we claim that we are denied opportunities of leadership, I think we also have to assert ourselves as leaders.
And one challenge that I keep telling the young people, it is the mindset.
Mind education is so important in many different ways.
When you go to the world, they don't ask you, are you Kikuyu or are you Luya? Hey, mimi ni Luya bwana, ule joko Kakamega tunakulanga kuku. Now,
Hello viewer, the woman is burdened with so much, such that they don't have time for themselves.
If you don't go after what you want, there's going to be hurt, there's going to be disappointment, there's going to be regret, there's going to be let down.
I love people.
People will always have a view. They will always have an opinion.
Whether you like it or not.
It's always there.
People will put you in a shame box.
You have to love yourself first.
I'm not that person.
It should come from deep conviction, and I'm talking about conviction. I'm not talking about emotional giving.
Then that should pose a big problem.
A man won't handle that. They will just run.
Families break. Marriages don't exist anymore.
There's so many people out there pretending like they don't have the problem. Pretending like their relationship is not on the rock.
What was that?
That's nonsense.
Get lost.
No. I think that is wrong.
Go ahead, tell me. I'm waiting.
Who questions you?
We're moving on swiftly.
Moving on swiftly, right?
It's pleasurable.
Yeah, no one gets there without trials.
Yeah, you've got to.
It's the way life is.
Your greatest ability is possibility.
Elijah.
I'm a young baller. Every
What's up, my people? This is Brand Senior, Mr. KCA, Mr. Glam International Kenya, People's Choice. And the message is, if you are out there and you have any talent, all art, if you have any artistic thing, this is the place to be. Wednesday and Thursday.
Mimi ningekuwa dem ningeitwa Joy, fruit of the Holy Spirit. Lakini si ati mnikule kama nimeiva.
JD on the track.
Hii ni wine award. Junajua spirit zenu zimezoea 8 PM na masaa ya 2:2. So 7 PM ningependa mnitune in kama nipashe cause I'm your fellow citizen.
8:30 PM manze on your favorite channel. I'm talking about GBS TV.
Elijah.
I'm a young baller. Every
People have dominance over themselves. Why?
Daddy, no money. Give me money, I'll buy for you. Hey, Daddy, I say I don't have money. Hey, I know, Daddy.
Can the Ethiopian change his skin? Or the leopard its spots?
예수님이 우리의 모든 죄값을 다 지불하시기 때문에 예수님 다 이루었다라고 말씀하셨잖아요.
So Jesus paid for all the wages of our sin. That's why he could say it is finished.
Yesu alipa mshahara wa dhambi ya deni zetu lote, ndiposa akasema kwamba imekwisha.
supercomputer 같은 분이.
Everyone, God is like the supercomputer.
Upendo wa Mungu ni kama hii supercomputer.
Kulipa is now easy with EasyPay. When you shop at your local supermarket, fuel your car, dine out, book a flight, make other payments or pay your bills, you want simplicity, security and convenience. It's accepted everywhere you see the EasyPay sign. And it works with other mobile networks too. What's more, you can withdraw your cash at the supermarket till where you see the cashback logo. Get your Equitel line or download the Easy Banking app today because Kulipa is now easy with EasyPay.
Hi, my name is Zawadi. At Mahanaim, I studied to qualify for the IGCSE through the Cambridge International Educational Program.
We Mahanaim International High School students enjoy extracurricular activities such as joining GBS TV Club, Taekwondo, cultural dance, orchestra, swimming, foreign languages, community service, and much more. I believe this unique experience I gained here will go a long way into strengthening the future me.
The teachers and other ministers at Mahanaim spared no pain in running with us until the end of the mile, until we secured all of our goals.
And that's how I passed my IGCSE exams.
Mahanaim International High School cares about my future. Beyond our education, Mahanaim nurtures us to have bright and healthy mind so that we could become great future leaders.
Healing, hope, restoration. Amazing stories of real people like you who have triumphed over tragedy. Watch Turning Point International and be inspired to reach your turning point.
It really ministers to the soul of man, and as a pastor, you benefit a lot because people learn and they learn how to cope with issues probably you don't even deal with in your sermons.
It's not reality TV, it's real life TV.
Now it's time for speaking. Everyone, are you ready?
Kwa mtu alikuwa anauma. Si niliwaambia.
Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me.
Kwaheri.
Everywhere, GBS.
everywhere, GBS.
Okay. Welcome back, viewer. Thank you so much for keeping it here. Today we're talking about competence-based education, and in the first segment of the show we looked at the various ways that we are able to have competence-based education throughout life. So it's being taught in schools, but it also has to be complemented at home. And in the second segment of the show, we're going to look at how our communities are going to be empowered because of competence-based education. So welcome once more. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for the you're very practical in terms of how you deliver the information, which is awesome, because sometimes people wonder, what can I do to be able to have the same results? But now, let's look at how our communities will change when we have people who have gone through the education system, the competence-based ones. What are some of the things we're going to see in society, for example?
Thank you, Anne. When I think of what's going to happen in the community,
it
will be big.
Yes.
Because we start from those who will go into self-employment.
Yes.
I'm thinking of those who will do performing arts, those in athletics.
Yes.
Those ones will go straight into employment. Immediately.
Yes.
And besides employing themselves, they'll be role models.
Yes.
They'll employ others. And they'll come, they'll expose us to the world.
They will.
So that's a big thing.
They'll put Kenya on the map, the way that our athletes do. And earlier you talked about the exit points that this system offers.
Multiple exit points, which also has implications.
Okay.
Out of, once this child is out of the basic education level, they might go out and start a family.
Yes.
This is a child who has learned how to do farming at the kitchen garden level.
Yes.
They've learned
organic vegetables.
Yeah. So we are safer, we are healthier.
Yes.
These are children who have learned sewing skills.
Yes.
They can go out and look after their families better. These are children who have learned, these are learners who also have learned and acquired dietary knowledge.
Exactly.
And practiced it.
So that to reduce obesity, the challenges we're seeing.
We reduce obesity.
Yes.
Cases of marasmus possibly in certain areas.
Yes.
Yeah. So it has multiple advantages.
Yeah.
All that will touch the society.
And also mental health. Let's talk about mental health and the kind of results we'll see in community as a result of competence-based education. Things like teamwork. How will that help in the mental health space?
It will help a lot because someone who is used to learning in the competence-based approach will already be used to working with others.
Yes.
This means that this person can share. This is a person who can easily solve a problem or detect a problem.
Yes.
This is someone who will be able to approach the right mentors, the right role models, the right people who can
come for help when you're lacking, when you're struggling.
Yeah.
And know the channels to use.
And know the channels to use. And know when to seek this help.
Exactly. Because a lot of times when I look at society and the challenges we're facing, it's simply because the person has a problem. That problem is not even so big, but it just becomes so big to them, yet the solution is so near, but they're not able to connect with somebody. So we're teaching people even how to just seek for help.
That is so.
Yeah.
And even mitigating some of the areas that these challenges will come from.
Exactly.
A good example is financial management. Yeah?
Yes.
The system, the new approach, requires us to expose children to things like money management.
Yes.
So
I've seen a few of them going to supermarkets with a certain amount of money and a list.
Yes.
Budgeting from an early age.
And by the way, Anne, it will have begun from them preparing a menu at home.
Why are you buying this?
Yeah.
You don't just buy things you don't need.
Yes.
So you buy things that you need in the house. So what are you cooking?
Yeah.
And that linkage of things, what we eat, what we shop, the money, what is it for? It sort of completes the picture for the child.
Yeah. And it makes the child know that money is limited.
Yes.
But our abilities as human beings are not limited. I have 100 shillings.
Yes.
But 100 shillings can do many things. Yeah?
Yes.
It is not just equals to a packet of flour.
No.
It is much more.
Yes.
I can get a bit of flour, can get a bit of grains,
yes,
and everybody's fed.
So you can apportion it.
Yeah, you can apportion it. So these are some of the advantages that the competence-based approach will give us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you see, I'm already starting to see the kind of community we'll have, because earlier on you talked about even one of the activities I saw with the competence-based education is cleaning up the markets. You can imagine, if you're cleaning up, you know it involves work to clean up, and you know that you're cleaning up because somebody littered. So from a very young age, you get exposed to managing your space in a clean way, and that way the effect of that is just a cleaner country, a cleaner county, you know.
A cleaner child.
Yes.
A child who is engaged.
Mm-hmm.
A child who also gets to understand that cleaning is a valuable job.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and
not
so
looking down upon it.
Yes, the day she is the CEO of a multinational, she'll appreciate the work that is being done by the cleaners.
Exactly, because you cannot thrive in a company if your space is not clean.
True.
If anything, you're going to be getting diseases, You're going to be not comfortable in that environment, and therefore you can't thrive in it, and the company can't grow. So it's just helping the children from an early age to make those linkages, instead of just focusing on numbers, literacy.
Yeah. Yes.
All that is important, but it is not enough.
It is definitely very important, but it is only a part of life.
It's only a part of life, and life needs to be balanced.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I think when we look at society, sometimes that imbalance creates problems.
That imbalance creates problems. It creates children who are entitled, citizens who are entitled.
Please elaborate on that.
A child who is used to having everything
done for them.
And Anne, you'll agree with me that we have a challenge in families today.
We do.
Where most of our children will be brought up alone, or you have a very big gap between the children. So you might bring up a child who feels like everything I need, I get.
Yeah. Life revolves around them.
Yes. But when you have this kind of approach in schools and in the society, the child gets to share. The child gets to interact with others. The child realizes that though at home, I may not be the one running these chores. I'm the kid at home.
Yes.
When I go out to school, there's work for all of us to do. Yes, and they learn to respect those who do these jobs. They learn to clean up after themselves.
Yes.
They are more independent. They are more willing to work with others. Yeah.
And you know what? That is the kind of society we want, because society is so much better when everybody is doing their part, So I think that competence-based education is definitely the way. And another thing, tell us about how it will impact society in terms of self-employment, in terms of producing things made in Kenya. What will be the impact?
I see a very big opportunity in terms of impacting society in terms of I can live and I'm self-employed. I'm thinking of those again who have talents, who immediately, of course, will go into employment. I'm thinking of those who are practical and can do things, like produce necklaces,
beading,
earrings, threading. That is a big market. And the minute this person starts producing these things or doing these things, he's also employing other people who will supply him. Now, the only thing that needs to be done possibly at the policy level is the fact that yes, we are producing, we are doing all these crafts, we are doing all these arts in here. Do we have the right theaters
to be able to showcase? Because you're teaching people dance, they must have a space to
do it. Are we marketing these crafts? Are we assisting these young people market these crafts abroad and elsewhere? So the community, yes, will be empowered in terms of employment, but government also needs to think about how they can support these initiatives to get us even more.
Exactly. Because when children are out there and they want to do presentations, do they have the space? Or like when you're building an apartment block or something, you need to figure out a space for the kids to play. A space where they can present something, at least a bit of greenery, so that it's not just a concrete jungle. And you see, already that way you're influencing even the architecture of the society.
The architecture changes.
Exactly.
The school curriculum, of course, has changed. The church also has to think about these things, because the church is another safe place.
It is.
That will develop
very
young
influential.
people.
Yes.
Very influential. So a lot of things also will change our approach to life. It's also going to be a life that is geared onto what's happening in the rest of the world, but at the same time developing our character as a nation.
Yes,
yeah,
that's correct. So there are a lot of challenges that the competence-based education is facing. What are some of the ways that we're going to be able to combat the negativity? Change, people are resistant to change. More is required of teachers, more is required of parents. There are those who have already got into the system and they are on with it, but there are those who are struggling to make that change. Because of course it is more demanding. Of course it's more fulfilling. I think that needs to be taught more so that people can see that they're going to be more fulfilled, they're going to be more, they're going to learn more, they're going to be happier delivering the information. But what are some of the ways to just deal with this negativity?
In the short term, I think a lot of education will help.
Okay.
In the sense that we have the curriculum in place now, but did we have all the players on board when we started?
Yes.
Was it a case of government that could implement without possibly some of the players being involved? I know a lot of training is taking place as far as the teachers are concerned,
yes,
but we must appreciate that the teacher is a key pillar in the success of this program.
Yes.
And willingness and the right attitude will be big,
yes,
in ensuring that it is successful.
Yes.
So we have to have more sessions with our teachers. We need to encourage them. We need to possibly encourage them that it's doable.
Yeah, because also, is it they need to first accept that it's doable for them to deliver. Because if the teachers themselves have not bought into the system.
And our teachers are well trained and they're also good people, citizens that are serving this nation,
yes,
and influencing very many lives. So it's just a little question of, yes, it is doable, we can do it, and we have the resources locally.
People always bring up the issue of remuneration. Must we remunerate our teachers better in order for them to deliver this? Or are we going to be expecting so much for them and they're not getting anything back?
We must appreciate that our economy has been growing quite fast, and that everybody across board,
yes,
is better paid than possibly most of the continent. Our teachers are not exactly poorly remunerated. But again, any growing economy also requires us to keep at par.
Yeah.
So this is a journey for everybody.
Yes.
Better remuneration, more involvement,
yes,
more output on the part of the teachers.
Yes.
And the biggest challenge I see with the teachers is the willingness.
Yeah, the willingness.
The willingness.
And that's a big point. Just
the willingness.
Willing to do it.
Yes.
Because accepting,
Yes. And because they are quite well trained.
Yes.
And because the curriculum has many advantages eventually.
Yes.
I know the journey is on, and our teachers are willing. In fact, you'll be surprised, and because we're only doing this at the lower primary level.
Yes.
But we in colleges already feel that this is the way to go.
Already you're embracing the
ready.
competence based.
Yes.
Guess what? Time is not on our side, and it's now time for you to give your parting shot. But I'm happy to hear that actually at college you're already embracing. We talk about competence based education and think up to class 3, but already at college level you've gotten people to already show you how to do it. So please give us your parting shot.
I would like my fellow educationists to join me on this journey. For us, we have to develop kids who are holistic learners, whereby we develop every child in terms of values, in terms of what they can do, as well as to be lookers of knowledge. We, as a nation, are depending on every teacher, every parent, because there's a shared journey, and we believe that as a nation, we have a great opportunity. For GBS, this has been a good opportunity to share on the competence-based education, and you're doing a good job. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gadhungo, for coming. It's been such a pleasure having you, shedding light on the way that we're going to see communities changing as a result of competence-based education. That is very critical, because when my viewer understands that this is going to benefit them, they're likely to be more engaged and to accept it, because they know that in the end, it's going to make their life better. Because you know what? Self-interest does play a key role in just changing things. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.